value. This is much more of a GENG comp than the last one, though. Just go in.
Yeah,
Just kill him.
I like it, and you know, I really would have loved to seen this draft in game 2 as well, right? You go ahead and you pick up the Syndra. It allows you to peel even better, and you can pick the J4. They're never going to expect the Jarvan. Either way, we are here in game 3, so you come into here. Obviously, both teams have many different ways to keep each other at range. Here on the side of T1, you've got some boomerangs, you've got some spears, you have rockets from the Jinx. The Braum helps for disengage. Same thing here on the side of GENG, except obviously with the Jarvan and the Camille. You can get a lot more greasy, let's say. You can get in there, you can get your hands dirty, and the follow-up will be intense.
Only thing this comp misses is Galio. That's all. Of course, if you actually go for that, BDD going to be stuck on a champion with a lack of AP damage. So I'm really happy to see BDD Syndra. I think it's an incredible champion that he pilots very well. Gives him a lot more agency than the Zoe did. And oh, rascal, you scoundrel!
You rascal!
You rascal. Not going for the Ignite, which I think might have been overkill, but is going for the Omni Stone Camille, which is something that we haven't seen in quite a while. I think that not going Grasp does make a lot of sense into specifically the Gnar. It's going to be trying and kite you for the bigger part of the laning phase. And then the alternative would be Conqueror to try and get the better end of it in extended trades, but hey, Halo Blades works as well. Why not?
Sure.
Not going for Ignite though, and that does mean that I think that point where the Camille just starts demolishing the Gnar in a 1v1 scenario, a little bit further off.
Yeah, and we'll see some crazy stuff as the game does come along.
Oh, BDD. True Scorcher. Scorched Earth policy.
He goes Scorch every single time. I don't know if I've ever seen him gather a Storm in his days.
I think he sometimes gathers Storms on a Zig. But actually no, then he goes Comet, so that's into ranged matchup, so then he Scorch.
And he goes Scorch. He's a Scorcher.
He's just a Scorcher, Valdez.
Scorched Earth policy.
He's a fire element type guy. You can't take that. Oh.
Okay. It's getting some
That's fine.
position on the wave, of course, as you do. Over here, we see this is Rascal's first pick on the Camille. Kind of surprising. Definitely a guy that's played his fair share of Camille, but first time here in summer.
And again, Ruler going for the lethal tempo. Life also Guardian, getting a proc very early. Carrier, seen though it is before, don't be surprised when you suddenly see a Braum teleport to topside.
Or smite away the Baron.
Yeah, both these things a real possibility. And I think that the Jinx is incredible in terms of what it provides, how good it is into the Aphelios specifically, as it does outrange it considerably. The one downside, I think, is that while Braum provides a lot of safety, I think that the amount of hard engage available for GENG kind of overrides that. And while BDD's impact is definitely going to get neutered when it comes to a single hook leading into a blow-up and Teddy, right, as long as Carrier's around, I do think that especially later in the game, like if Rascal and Clade find a combo, then it doesn't really matter that Carrier is down. Even with the exhaust available, so that's something that T1 is going to have to take into account. And also wondering, as we see both junglers now on the top side of the map. Early prio as expected for the Gnar, but BAD is the one who is smashing this lane early.
Yep.
A bit of Scorch, we'll say.
Scorching him out of the lane, as you do. It's the BDD way.
His Syndra is incredible, and we joke about it, but it is still a pick that I think is terrifying to play into.
Yeah. Also, if you're playing like solo queue or something, you probably want to go Scorch anyway because the game ends at 10 minutes. And everybody's just trying to fight to win their lanes. So, not the case here, as Carrier, of course, another one of these insane win rates. This time on the Braum, 15-4 for him.
He got a medium-sized Krug. Not even one of the small ones. It was medium, Valdez. At least it wasn't the big Krug.
Just right size, you know.
Sometimes you're not that hungry, you know.
Yeah, this Krug is too big. This one is too small.
Even when it's a good deal, like no, I don't need the large meal. Give me the medium size.
You're just summing up wholesale retailers in one sentence. but still do frequent them. As we do have another crazy win rate up here, 70%, 21-9 for Rascal on the Camille. Like I was saying, he hasn't played it in summer, but he has his fair share of Camille games.
An early lane in this matchup, not very fun. We see Rascal really getting bullied out. Fortunately for him, able to sustain a little bit better due to the cookies that he has available. And I think that post-6, this matchup becomes a little bit more manageable, but it's really once you get onto your first item as nice hook.
Yeah, this is also one of the great combos of Aphelios Thresh. Not only do you provide safety and peel for the Aphelios, but you also provide insane setup, and their synergy is crazy, especially with Gravitum and what you can do.
Yeah, does tie into the larger theme of GENG winning bot lane early game. In this scenario, though, as Teddy, you're not really bothered by that as much, as you know that you will be a late game threat regardless. And that's also something that for Rascal, once you have your steel caps and you get your first item, Ashuma will be Divine Sunderer. I'm personally also a fan of Triforce, but don't often see that one picked. You're going to feel better.
Rascal, okay. Hook shot's back in, you know, kind of taking a couple of turret shots. This is a pretty spicy matchup so far.
I thought for a second that he was going to flash hook shot in. I was kind of scared.
You can, you know. I think what happens though is that you just get.
No, you get stunned and you probably die. No, I'm glad he didn't, but I was waiting for it regardless. As honoring Clit.
Or kind of just blasts his way and throws a house in your face. And
yeah, and you die. Ruler? Was he getting greedy for a plate?
He was. That's the Ruler way.
Oh, and now Phage on the first back, so Rascal going for a little bit more offensive power as opposed to going for a more defensive buy. Did see Kana go for the steel caps himself. Big thing now, Hextech Ultimatum is available, which means that any setup from Klid when Kana is in Mini-Na is very, very scary. And Kana's going to have to play a lot more respectful as Klid making his way top. Wonder if they want to wait this out. Klid's jungle currently not up. Blue buff coming up relatively soon, but still has some time available, so can go for a clear on the Crocs. But with Kana leaving line of sight, wonder whether they actually want to go for that.
So far, I feel like a little bit less bloodthirsty compared to some of the other games. Maybe settling in here in our third game. Still early, obviously. But junglers kind of, you know, just doing their thing, farming it out. Klid is here in the mid lane, as you could have some potential nice setup onto Faker, especially because he didn't go Merc Treads. You know, just land Scout of the Week, send in the ultimate from Syndra, and you got some nice follow-up from Klid.
Yeah, a little bit of risk averse, and I get it, both teams feel like they're very comfortable going into the late game here. As I think BDD missed it.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
I didn't want to say anything, but you know,
but
Chronicler
it has
came out.
To be done.
Yeah,
it has to be done. We need to hold our players accountable, no matter how much we appreciate their clean game players. Faker standing in fog, looking for a possible dive, but with a lack of vision available, is a bit of a risk. Mini-Na now. Also there as
here we go, TP's coming in. This is BDD, and Kana's in so much trouble. Nice flash, though. That might be enough to get him away. Nope, not quite. As now Faker's like, wait, what's happening? I'm a little bit late to the party here. Trying to get that damage on the Rascal. The bounce is not quite enough. Another teleport's coming in from Keria. As you mentioned earlier, the Unsealed Spellbook. Keria trying to make this happen as he blocks the hook shot. And the stun will be dodged as well by Faker. And that's going to be the turnaround here as Faker picks up a kill. And now Owner with the red buff. He's level 6, misses the spear. One more auto could do it, and he will be able to pick up the kill. How about on the bottom side now? We're getting in the face of Teddy, who's all alone. And a 2-on-1 as Ruler's just chomping up the plate.
Oh, so much action across the entirety of the map. And you haven't said, hey, this is not feeling bloodthirsty, as mayhem ensues on Summoner's Rift. And in the long run, I do think that it's a slightly favorable trade for GENG, but I gotta give credit to Keria. That was, we say jokingly, don't be surprised if the Braum teleports.
Dude.
But then not only does he teleport, save Faker from a play that looks certainly doomed, but then flash cancels the hook shot as Rascal tries to desperately get away. And I think it might have been worth, especially if you consider this pickup, if not for the fact that Ruler got, I think it was 3 plates there?
Yeah.
So
maybe 2 more?
Yeah, no, I don't know if he He already had.
He had the first one, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not good. As here we do see some of the power that's available, and what the exact reason why you have to really respect. Nice flash from Kana. I think he plays this as well as can reasonably expect, but honestly, shouldn't be that far up. Already got the bounce on the wave. It's understandable though with Faker coming in, and this is just the unsealed spellbook value, right? And it's just, I love it. Love that they go for it. Really nice flash again by Carrier. Faker also really nice sidestep on the scatter so he doesn't get hit. Ona goes for the punish. The one downside of this, obviously, is that Life finds a hook, which I'm sure we'll get the replay as well of that. Finds Teddy, says, hello, how are you doing? Goodbye. No, doesn't need me to do it. Just play it, blowing him up.
He was also caught by the chompers. He's like, no, I don't care. You don't have flash, so
goodbye.
Actually, maybe he did have flash. Maybe that's the cooldown from when he got killed. Either way, it doesn't matter because Jarvan was there. And yeah, I mean, it's trades back and forth. T1 gets some kills, GENG do as well, but some extra plates.
And it should be favorable to T1, considering that they still have 2 plates left in the docket. Yeah. But at the same time...
And the Rift Heralds.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, I'm afraid that like Ruler is just gonna go full Ruler and like, I want this turret is mine. I need it. And it's just gonna push relentlessly. They don't really have the vision to back this up, so maybe possibility for a flank clit. Oh, those get spotted there.
Yeah.
Faker's coming.
And here we go. Could turn into a 3-on-2 in just a moment's time. The poke is coming out. They're trying to deny this Shelly from getting a lot of damage done. They spite it down! See you later. Shelly does nothing. And Kana and Ona are not able to actually make it happen. And now we're trying to get on top of Kana here. Faker is in position. Nice try at the flash. The Cataclysm comes in and Klid is able to unlock it there, but Rascal gets rocketed in the face. Now he's trying to turn it onto Kana, but it's a little bit too little too late with the Hextech ultimatum. And T1 at least able to pick up a couple of kills in the trade.
Slightly disjointed there. Really nice cancel on the Heralds, but unfortunately for GENG, don't play out the fight as cleanly as possible. If BDD is there, immediately when Klid finds that knock-up, you can probably capitalize, but instead it's T1 getting the better end of the topside trade.
What?
They really don't want them to get this turret, okay?
Yeah.
A little bit over-eager there. That should not be the biggest of issues. The real problem is that while all of this is happening, with all this attention on topside, Rascal is actually losing so much fun because he's getting continuously bullied by Ona. And yeah, if BDD is already here and this knockup gets hit,
yeah, he gets Ona, but
yeah, that's Ona dead, right? And now Ona does still die, but you need to invest so much more. Without this rocket, also, I think that Rascal has a chance of killing Kana before he actually dies.
Yeah, nice.
I hit him. Nice.
Good assist from Teddy. Is it worth?
What? Oh no. Not like this, Faker. He's 2-0-1. He's having a great time so far. The roams to the top lane have been good, but that wasn't good.
No, that was not it.
Crescendo Aphelios things here in this game.
Oh, okay. Ruler's done. Ruler's not having fun. He wasn't happy with how the last 2 games have gone. And despite the fact that the man went for a Vamp Scepter, look at what he just finished, Velbis. That's a Guild Force.
Full Guild Force?
Oh yeah. Guild Force Aphelios coming in hot. Considering how fat he is, I don't personally mind it as much. Do think it's a scary thing to play. But as I was saying earlier, I do think that this continuous attention on topside from T1 between Faker and Ona does mean that as now T1's going to trade back, so it's still going to feel very good about the overall goal total, so as Teddy will be able to easily catch up. I say as Ruler's probably just going to get this. Yeah, he's just going to
And it's only an R, by the way. It's 3-on-1 here. So T1 need more help up on the top side of the map.
Well, imagine if you had teleport available. That'd be great.
Yeah, you would love to have that summoner.
Yeah.
And T1 are like, yeah, we're gonna get this bottom turret. Uh-oh.
Not again.
Not again. Okay, this one will work. The Aphelios a little bit better at getting that damage done. Nice rocket, though. We got a fight up on the top side. Carriot's going to get caught out, and Rascal is going to get flashed on and killed alone down on the bottom side. Oh, man. Trying desperately to keep that turret alive, I guess. And he just gets taken down.
And while it's a win on the top side, it's so many cross-map plays in this game, Valdez, where you feel like one team gets the edge and then someone dies across the other end of the map. In this case, Teddy gets a kill, picks up a turret as well. And it's a rough series for Rascal. That teleport did work out, so we're kind of feeling good. But then Teddy has the zap, has the ultimate ready as, yeah, T1. They know. As it did again. BDD scatter. Blade Exhaust doesn't actually provide anything. Do need to respect. And yeah, Teddy, it's Chompers, into Zap, into ults, and then I assume Rascal tries and go for a... Oh, he actually does find the sweep, but it's Gale Force. Nice.
Gale Force Gaming.
Yep. Tries to heal. Doesn't actually work.
Otherwise known as GG. That's what Teddy was flashing in his face.
I like it. I hadn't even thought of that one. And yeah, real bottom line, no clue who's actually benefiting the most with it. Both the teams have incredible scaling available to them, and with how it's going right now, I think you're a little bit happier when you're T1. As GENG, yeah, there's a lot of gold on Ruler available, and BDD is also monstrously fed, but BDD's influence is going to be somewhat neutered by Carrier's power. Yeah, there we go. Man, this is how this series is feeling as well. Outside of Game 1, which was a fairly one-sided affair where GENG just won early and took over, it has been very up and down consistently in this game. And the one thing that I think is going to be the big question mark for me is when does Rascal, and if Rascal comes online? It's Camille, so it's more of a question of when than if, because the champion just scales so insanely well once the 2-3 item spikes are hit. But with how far behind he is, it's not the greatest of spots. The big saving grace here is that while Kana has 30 CS up, when you saw the gold difference, it was only about 200 gold. So in terms of side laning pressure, Kana actually not that far ahead. And then I think as we get later into the game, Rascal should still feel fine. But man, Valdez, look at all these turrets that are down.
Yeah,
look at
so much room for activities. I mean, it's crazy. And
the LCK.
Yeah, I know. I was about to mention that, like, obviously watching the LEC and playoffs all around the world. By the way, tons of amazing matches today.
Oh, it's amazing.
Not just the LCK, but even LPL. That's ongoing. We got LEC as well.
LEC and LCS.
Those are the big rivalries, the old gods of their own regions.
It's just Fnatic and G2 for a final word spot.
Yeah,
and also TSM Cloud9 for a final word spot. No biggie.
Yeah. I think it's RNG versus WE, Team WE as well. And the LPL, so many great games. But watching this game, it makes me feel like the LEC, where there's like so many different cross-map plays happening all the time, and like it's just absolute chaos.
I love it.
And it's so different from the way we played over here at the LCK. And I feel like it's cool to see that both of these teams, I feel like, have handled it pretty well. Because when you go over internationally, you have to deal with this kind of play, which you might not always see in the LCK because everybody's very much entrenched in, you know, macro plays and rotations and setting up vision and moving as a team, whereas other regions don't necessarily play in that same style.
No, I agree. And the nice thing about this is it set us up with two teams that are very even, with both compositions having a lot of scaling elements. As BDD...
This guy is insane. Oh. By the way, that was Flash, burned by Faker, and BDD just phase rush, laughs his way to the bank.
I need to see a replay of that. Oh, the cleanse!
How about another?
With the cleanse! He has it!
He has cleanse, of course. He's like, you know who's best in this game is BDD. BDD has the flash because he almost got zap rocketed in the face now. What is going on in this game? Life trying to frontline now with some hooks. Moonlight Vigil doesn't get much damage done. Carry able to block a lot of that damage. Clid not able to do much here. Rascal as well on the backside trying to find an entry point. Can't quite do it. And T1 now in a good position in this mid lane. They got a lot of the enemies down to very low health. BDD does have teleport, but...
Yeah, teleport coming in. And don't forget, Magana is down. No Jinx ult available.
They're going to lose their turret, but they can fight over this one. And yeah, that was very aggressive. I mean, it's Camille with hookshot available.
Now you got to peace out.
Yeah, I mean, now you're low. BDD's got blue buff and full health.
You know what the best? This was only over a Cloud Drake.
Yeah.
And a turret, admittedly. But still, loving that our teams are not just giving up objectives. They are actually going distance, as we will have for the first time in this series, a different soul than the Cloud Atlas.
Thank you, Atlas, for allowing that, you know.
It's really nice.
He didn't want us to get a little bit too bored with the souls. He still got the one Drake in, but not the soul.
Varieties is the spice of life.
There you go.
As Kana just gonna not walk up into fog against the amount of death that GENG have available for him, and yeah, I'm loving it. We do see that T1, when they can actually set up shop in mid lane, are definitely the one with the range advantage, right? Especially when carry has Unbreakable available, it's really hard for BDD to get a lot more done. And GENG's comp, while they have some great tools to actually commit, once they're in, they're in. There's not that much non-committal poke for them outside of BDD specifically. So both Clit and Rascal, Ruler and Life all need to be on exactly the same page when they go in. Whereas T1, you can throw some zaps. You can throw some spears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jinx, it just feels so good into this because your Aphelios, even with the Thresh, he's not able to sit up in the lane. You just get poked away. It's RFC Jinx, and you hit him once, you get him with the zap, and he just has to run away. So for a lot of this game, the Jinx is going to get the better of that matchup. Whereas, of course, Moonlight Vigil, you know, especially with like Infernum and crazy stuff like that, maybe we can have some like crazy poking later on in the game, but it doesn't happen very often that will decide a team fight.
And that's why I think you are desperately looking as GENG to somehow force a flash on Teddy. Because when Teddy's flash is down, the complete equation changes. Because then, as Clit, if you find a Cataclysm, that should be the kill, right? There's no way for Teddy to ever get out of that, and as long as you can mitigate the impact that the carrier is going to have, either by hooking him, making sure CCing him, forcing him to use Unbreakable early, you have the opportunity to actually get onto that backline. Outside of that though, as long as that flash is available, it's really hard for you. The Guild Force adds another layer of survivability. Teddy gotta be not as easy to hit with a flag and drag. And Carrier has been very diligent in never leaving Teddy's side. And unlike Ruler, Teddy, not known for getting caught out in random places.
Yeah. In fact, he might be one of the best at, you know, we call him the Fountain Laser for a reason. Partially because he gets 6 items on Sivir and never dies and forces a 94-minute game.
Haha.
Besides that, the guy just never really gets caught out, and it's like he's his own turret, right? He like just sits back there, and yeah, you can attack the turret, but it never really dies unless you get a full committal and you actually get into that back line. So definitely agree with you there, Chronicler.
And the key thing for me, and this is something that GENG is going to have to overcome, is that GENG are known as a team that can get in their own head. They can get into a position, have a great situation, multiple win conditions, openings into the game, but fail one of them and then effectively stop playing. And in this comp, for GENG, it is so essential that you overcome that fear. Because there's going to be a breakpoint in this game where T1 is just going to stand somewhere, fire 3 Jinx rockets, and your team is gone. And in that point, Clit, Rascal, and or Life, you can't keep waiting for a million-man scatter from BDD, right? Like, which he certainly can hit, but
yeah,
for Brom, not nearly going to be as easy of a task. And for GENG, that is, I think, a really hard task. And in that regard, I think that the GENG comp can win fine. You know, I think their all-in potential is insane. As long as they play around the Mega Gnar and are able to mitigate Carrier's influence, they should be fine. Maybe go for an initial engage for some sums and then try again. But this is GENG we're talking about, and that is something that historically they've had a really rough time with. So GENG not only fighting against a composition that punishes a complete lack of activity on your end, because they outrange you fairly aggressively, but also into a comp that GENG themselves kind of fall into trap with sometimes.
Absolutely. And it's not really what we saw, you know, last best of 5 these two teams played. It was all about BDD. He got Syndra, and he kind of just solo carried. This time around feels a lot more even. It feels a lot more like a team effort
liking this
on both sides. And GENG kind of setting up a big concave around vision around the Baron, whereas T1 have position on this Drake. Both teams have a Drake, so even just the one Ocean is not big, but Kana at the same time is really the X factor. He's getting this damage onto this turret. It's going to force GENG to make a move onto the Baron. let's see how they fight this one out here. Faker is going to get some vision on in there. The teleport immediately does come out, and GENG have to pull back.
And I think you're okay with this as GENG. If you can get some life back and just go back in. I don't know about that. I don't think you can go for this. And it's understandable because they don't have the vision, right? And there's the assumption that maybe T1 going to go for a play on the Drake here. Instead, T1 say thank you. We have control of the wave. Just shove in, and then I'm going to get both the inner turret as well as the Drake. And honestly, that's what I'm talking about. GENG, the only call that they at this time seem to be able to make with certainty is let's try and go for Baron. But unlike last game, there's no feathers here to really easily allow you to take this Baron as quickly. And that's going to be the Drake. Nice play there from T1. Not succumbing under the pressure.
Definitely very nice map control. Clit is hanging around the bottom side. Nobody's even approaching that bottom wave, so he's going to be standing here for a long time until he realizes that, you know, the wave pushes past and this opportunity is gone. And yeah, it's just a, you know, it's a little play. Not too much happens. There's a lot that happened in that little play, obviously. By little play, I mean that, you know, it's basically just the Ocean Drake that gets taken here. Nobody dies, there's no huge action, but a lot of big posturing around the map, and the objective, of course, taken by T1 alongside of the inner turret, so they're going to be happy with that. Continuing on with this game, both sides scaling up, as we do.
And one of, oh, that's a good hook, but not going to amount to more, as not enough CC available. And one thing that I think for Ruler is the downside of not having that shield board available is that once Teddy finds 1 or 2 autos, healing up is a lot harder. Carrier trying to get some vision. T1 moving in. And I haven't really talked about this yet because it's been T1 that has actually been kind of running GENG around. But when it comes to actually hard forcing, it's also kind of hard for T1 because the hard engage is fairly lackluster, right? You're looking at Kana finding a flank or making a big gnaw play, and that's
predictable.
Basically it. Yeah, it's very telegraphed. And that should still favor T1, so for them it's not nearly as big of a problem as it is for GENG, who will now take control back. And I think maybe we spoke too soon when we were talking about the lovely activity that we had around the map and how cool it was, that everything was full of action.
We cursed it!
We did.
There was so much room.
This is honestly on us.
Yeah, there was so much room for activities, and then both teams were like, you know what? This also means so much more room to get caught out of position. So let's both not make any mistakes. And nobody takes a risk. And here we are, 27 minutes in. We got all our kills in early. Those 9 kills happened in like the first 15 minutes, and then since then it's been a bit of a crawl.
If I'm not mistaken, Ruler also sold his Fem Scepter.
This is pretty interesting. Kana.
Yeah.
Or not Kana, Rascal.
Yeah.
Wrong top laner.
I wonder because when Rascal hits that second item, that's where I'd expect him to do a lot better. Looks like he's itemizing into maybe a Sterex now that he's had his Tiamat finished. As yet, now we see the damage coming through. So, because that's the point where traditionally you'd expect the Camille to really start pulling ahead. Once you get that second item, once you get way more points into your queue as well. And
what? I feel like even Jonas Strong is confused. Like, I feel like a lot of our viewers probably didn't even see that happen.
I wonder. I don't think it will be relevant because considering the state of this game, it's going to be a minute 50 before the next fight even has a remote chance of breaking out. Valdez says the pace of this game, fairly glacial. But yeah, maybe he was going for a check on the brush, but I think it's really likely. Well, no, that's why I'm saying I think it's really likely they just kind of misclicked, threw it into the ether.
There was even a control ward like where he clicked. So I don't know, it must have just
maybe
been...
that was it, yeah.
He probably has the blue trinket, so maybe he like tried to, I don't know.
Let this be a lesson. Even world champions sometimes that finger skill shot. Again, assuming that's what happened. Could also be.
I mean,
I assume so. Yeah.
At this point, maybe we should just get a replay of it because nothing else is happening.
I mean, Jonas Strong would do it. Like, I can see him go for it.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, like by the time we fight again,
No, it's going to be. It doesn't actually.
It's going to be up.
Yeah, it's,
and the enemy team doesn't know that it's down, which is another big thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if they think that Moonlight Vigil is up here, then T1 have to be more respectful.
Like, wait, what's that heal? And I'm pretty sure it was just, yeah, it's just carry. I'm guessing heal.
Okay. No Shrillies. Pretty good.
Cut Rally, yes, but I think Glacial Fissure is more valuable. So I think it's a trade to take as GENG. Provided, again, that we do actually get action, which...
Oh! He missed the lantern, and he had to Gale Force. I'm getting excited. That's the most action we've had in 15 minutes.
It's been...
Good work, Ruler.
Oh. Oh, Clay will get spotted there.
Yeah. Oh!
Not yet. He's out of vision.
Oh!
Yeah, like, there's a turret there. That makes it a lot less exciting, actually.
I thought maybe he was going all the way around, like below the wolves.
Well, BDD, kind of low. It's like 2 crits away from dying.
Here we go.
There they go again.
T1's right here, and they get vision, so they say, you guys can't just do this, right? We're going to stop you. No Glacial Fissure, and we do have potential flanks coming in, and GENG are just committing to it, and the center will pick it up here as they're all in the pit, but BDD trying to kite it out, but the Jinx, Teddy is still alive in the left side of this one, and down will go Ruler, and they're able to kite everybody down. Only Rascal will live with the buff.
And that's not worth, because that's Soul Point for Soul Point T1. They're just charging it down mid, Valdez.
There's 30 seconds. I mean, it's 30 minutes into the game. I don't know if you can do this. They're going to give it a go, at least for the inhibitor. You can go inhibitor and back. That would be the safe play.
Oh, I assume that's what they're going to do. But
they're going. No, look at the positioning. Teddy's right here. He wants to hit the turret.
He's excited.
And 15 seconds. They're going to try to go for it, and I think they have the damage to do it here. The Baron buff minions, and no. Teddy will say no, not this time. We get the 1 turret. And they're probably going to get away with that and the Ocean Drake, you would have to imagine. Although Teddy isn't running straight at it, and double teleport available on GENG.
Yeah, I don't know if they can go for Drake now.
I guess not.
So I like that initially, because I think that obviously it's worth it considering how many people they killed. But I'm fairly certain that now they're going to give up the Soul Point. It's not the worst, because it doesn't put GENG in a position where all of a sudden they have a huge Drake lead, where they have the pressure of a certain Soul. And GENG should also be able to get some turrets, so in the end I think it will be an equalizing play, and it's probably not going to amount to anything at all. Because the unfortunate reality of the situation. Really nice exhaust onto Ruler here, who does find the ultimate, but it's honestly Teddy who gets so much done here. BDD not able to actually stay alive, and then obviously if you rise and you're a Gnar into a place where there's this much damage available, oh man, that gives as well. Lands at the last second.
So clean.
Very cleanly played. Meanwhile, Faker and Kana just finding so much damage in that tiny enclosed corridor. But at the end, that's a small gold lead. And I think GENG still not going to be very happy with how that play went. It's definitely a favorable trade for T1, but
for sure,
not a game-winning one just yet.
Yeah, they open up that mid lane to now where it's like they're on like, what would you call it? They're on like match point in the game, right? Not in the series.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if GENG make one more mistake, they're going to lose. Because then you have to push down mid. There's only one turret standing, and you just take it down. And they're looking to open up other avenues here. Moonlight Vigil misses. Scout of the week, also going to miss. But the amount of wave clear that they do have, and also Rascal is getting some Baron push going. Where is anybody?
That's Faker.
Okay. He gets over here to stop the inhibitor from going down, but there's no objective on the map. Somebody's got to be there to stop the push, right?
Rascal's still a Baron-empowered recall as well.
Yeah.
He's the only one having it left. But I'm loving that GENG is able to utilize it this way.
This is a deal too. I'm like, I don't know, you know, we could go into base race positioning if you give him any more room.
Yeah, it's now free item Camille as well. But what I'm seeing here from GENG still affirms to me that GENG, you got to get over this hurdle. Like, yes, the odds of you, if you go for a straight-up engage, they might be slim, and you might get out-executed, but certain death awaits you if you don't do anything with this comp. Because, like, the range advantage for T1 is just too big. Like, you need to try and all-in at the right time when you do see an opening, someone on T1 mispositions, because otherwise, I think you're just going to get poked down, right? You're going to lose more and more objectives on the map. And I'm loving that T1 also very clearly recognizes that, and they're not giving any openings. Like, they're just grouping as 5, right? There's no one in the side lane that can just randomly get picked off by Camille. can get baited into a 1v1, then a teleporter, Clid comes down and blows someone up. So, as a whole, still 3k at this point in the game. Not really the, you know, it's not a gold lead that
it's fine.
you'd really be worried about as either team.
Yeah. I mean, I think the scariest part is that Teddy is so fed. He got the Bloodthirster 2 plus a Zeal, by the way. He's almost on 5 items here and a completed build traditionally. We'll see if he actually goes for the 6 and sells his boots, but that is a little bit later on in this game. But the fact that he gets the Bloodthirster, the shield is going to help him survive even more against the Unleashed power from the Syndra. You can take a bit more of that poke.
There we go. That's the Rune Arms.
Wow, he already completed it. What?
What? No, he only had Seal.
No, I'm saying.
Oh,
wow, that was fast.
Yeah, no, I was setting up. I thought you were.
I can see how you would.
I get it.
Yeah. There you go.
And we've seen GENG go for some quick Barons. Unfortunately for them, they're playing into Faker with Rise. So what I think is going to happen the moment that the Baron comes up in about a minute is that GENG, they're going to be somewhere, maybe around mid-wave, you know, around their remnants of their inner. And then they're clearing out the wave, and then the entirety of T1 disappears for a second. It's a 6-item Jinx, and it is a Rise, so Baron disappears in about, give or take, 10, 15 seconds, if even that many. And then you're up into Baron, perma-shelf for T1, and then they just end the game from there.
Remember old Mountain Drake?
I do remember.
Imagine if they had that as well. It's like, well, I guess we just don't get to play unless it's in the Baron pit.
I really liked Old Mountain Drake, you know?
Yeah, well.
I think it's healthy that it's not there anymore.
It was a little bit
It was a little bit too good.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what we got now? We got Hullbreaker, which isn't, you know, that's only for structures, but someday someone will build an item when souls are not relevant anymore, which I don't know when that's going to be. One day.
One day.
Man with a
not today. That's for sure.
Oh no.
Definitely not today.
No, that's not happening.
And Rascal, he's becoming a bit of a problem. And take a look at this. They have BDD with teleport, and they say, let's get an inhibitor. But the damage you mentioned, it's here. Now Teddy's not on the Baron though. He's running by. And when you're kind of sitting in the middle, not doing one of either thing,
you have double TP as well. So
yeah,
like, both BDD and Rascal can immediately move away.
You're just giving BDD and Rascal free damage to the inhibitor for no trade.
I think that's Drake. Or that should be Drake, rather, with the tempo that GENG have can now walk towards Bloodsuck, but they don't want to give up the Baron. And now we have a 2v2 and a 3v3 going on.
Here we go, Mega coming in here as well. BDD has to go into the Zhonya's as we're trying to burst down Faker. He has to go in, and Kana is able to assassinate him. Faker with the Everfrost is going to keep Rascal at bay. Even Realm warping away from this one. The Baron is also going down, but who cares?
They have a wave.
They're pushing into their base. And they're pushing into the base right now. The Baron is here. The Baron and Called Recall will come out. Is it on time? Clid!
He cancel!
Oh, he goes! No! He can't cancel it. Jinx is back here. They're still trying to kill the turrets, but I don't know if they can. Ruler's got some room, but it's not enough room. He has to get away with the Gale Force, and the Nexus is up as he's running in, but now he's getting flashed on, and Teddy will take him down, and I think T1 just barely held on to this game.
That ought to be it. There's a Baron buff available. There's a wave.
They saw him.
Yeah, no, he can't pull the wave. They're riding this. He's gonna try and
hit the Nexus.
There's nothing.
He can hit the Nexus.
Now someone's just gonna back, and
Come
it's not gonna work out.
BDD's back at the base.
Oh, there's a teleport!
He's TPing. Oh,
he's going for it.
They have the damage. The Baron and Called Recall though is coming in. And let's see, we got some autos coming in. Braum has been a hero in this situation before, and it's not gonna pay off. Clid is desperate, and the desperation will not work. The Nexus still alive, but you do buy some time. And look at the wave, you buy some time for your other teammates to get up.
Faker can TP.
Oh,
I don't think
man.
that's enough.
Rascal could TP.
There's no ward.
There's no ward. Okay,
oh, they
cleared the ward.
Yeah.
That is so important.
Oh my god.
The Nexus has like 200 health. Maybe more than that. But it's still so close. And the game isn't over because T1 couldn't end it because of that play.
60 such a hero play from Clid.
What a move.
Oh my god.
Look at the moves, look at the plays. Let's take a look here at the replay and see how it all starts.
Yeah, because I think mechanically this is very well set up by T1. Faker getting a really nice pick. Then also look at his Everfrost to deny the hook shot, because otherwise Faker dies here.
Yeah.
And like nothing happens, and it's basically done so, right? But instead, Faker stays alive, and he's pivotal in actually, like, if Faker doesn't hit that Everfrost, I think they just end the game here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just over immediately. And this is where, as GENG, okay, that's going to be it. You know, there is two turrets. Because, like, this init turret, I think, would have been fine. But then he's like, oh, well, there's another turret there. That does go down, but then...
Blitz runs all the way from the Baron around.
It's the Croc Bros. They're doing it.
Oh, man. And, yeah, I mean, Brahm's been pivotal in the past in situations like this. You put up the door and you deny autos.
Because it feels so bad as well, right? Like, because as BDD, I think you want to, in a normal situation, you ignore the support. Like, if that's a Leona or a Nautilus, you don't care. The problem, of course, is that with Braum, if he stacks his passive, you are just gonzo.
Yeah.
So you need to try and do something.
Yeah.
Well, this game is certainly delivering.
Here we are. I'm like, we wanted 5 games. This is a good start to game 3 and to the rest of the series.
Man.
After game 1 and the beginning of game 2, I have to admit I was worried. I thought maybe this would be a quick 3-0. That's not going to happen. And GENG know they have so much pressure on the bottom side that the enemy team T1 has to push it out. They have to commit control wards down there. They know there's no wards right now, but it gives potential pushing areas as...
What you were saying?
Yeah, welcome to wave clear, I guess. Oh, Runon's Rocket Jinx against Infernum.
Man.
Aphelios.
It's just... Are there 2 players that are more suited for this type of game than Ruler and Teddy? Because I don't think there are.
No, I don't think there are. Not in the LCK.
This is the comfort zone. You know, it's the... is this going to be one of those games where the next strike is going to go to GENG, and then we're going to get multiple Elders and multiple Barons, and it's going to end with like some kind of crazy...
64 minutes in.
Yeah. It's okay. I totally don't have a test. I want this to go to 5 games. I've committed. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Although I do imagine that losing this game in terms of best of 5 momentum, it's going to be monstrously crippling. Like, if you lose this one, the amount of focus that's necessary, that you've been maintaining for like 42 minutes at this point, the adrenaline that surges through your body when you go for that play on the bot side inhibitor and then the subsequent nexus. Oh boy.
Yeah, these are not easy games to play. You may have had a taste of it if you've had a long game in a solo queue game that's gone, you know, very long. But I guarantee you that these are different stakes. This is a whole other level.
Hey, if someone's in their promo, Veldis, that is value as well. But without any jokes, this is not just for these teams, right? But like Nongshim is also watching this series with trembling, like with fear in their hearts, knowing that if T1 win this, T1 guaranteed qualified for Worlds.
Yeah.
And then Nongshim, they are still only a best of 5 away. They will still be in a comfortable position. But so much is riding on this, because it does feel like the person who wins this game going into the next game is going to have such a big edge.
Yeah, I mean, it's inevitable, essentially. T1, they have a couple of teleports themselves, so they just throw Kana down to the bottom side. I mean, this is pretty easy to read at this point. They may have even seen that BDD is down here.
I wonder. Because as T1, you can make a play for Baron and always make that work, if that makes sense, because giving up Soul Point at this point, I don't think really matters. Whereas as GENG, you can't afford to give over Ocean Soul, I don't think. Yep, that's Shirelius. Just Teddy looks at him very, very, very scarily.
Jinx is kind of a scary champion.
Oh yeah. I'm not gonna debate you on that.
Yeah, she's a little bit crazy.
You know what would have been great? If we had some Gathering Stormers out there.
Poor BDD.
Oh,
fortunately, he's just a Scorcher.
That's a deep collapse.
And Rascal seems to know. And he can, you know, try to go for some kind of flash with the ultimatum, but it's not going to be enough. He has GA. He's buying time. GENG, they're just going to run at the Baron and hope that that's enough. And there's no wave here currently, so T1 do actually have to move into the mid lane, it looks like, and try to escort this. They should know that the Baron is gone, though.
They're going to get sold. Wait, are they?
Hello?
The Drake is there!
Guys?
Oh, they must not, like, no. What I assume is they have no vision in bot side jungle. I assume that T1 thinks maybe they're running towards our Nexus, right? Because, like, there's no vision, your inhib is open, and even with the backdoor bonus, I imagine you're still going to be terrified. Do go for the Baron now, but I think that's the reason why, like, we don't immediately just see them go for that. Because imagine if you're T1 in that scenario, and you haven't channeled your back, and, like, the entirety of GENG flashes over the Nexus, over the wall.
The Teddy gank?
And now T1 have Baron, or GENG rather have Baron, so you can't actually push into them. But I do think that the Soul is going to be much more valuable. Although at this point you can also argue that Soul doesn't really matter, because it's going to come down to, like, does GENG find the engage? And if they do, I don't think the Soul is going to provide a lot. As this has been a rough game for Rascal, fortunately the rest of his team is able to capitalize. Can still redeem himself.
BDD
one hook shot on Teddy.
Yeah. BDD is Flame Horizons right now by Faker, and he's just been spending so much time the last 10 minutes down on the bottom side, trying to help push, trying to help split, and that means he only now hit level 18. He was behind on that as well, and it doesn't look like GENG want to fight this. They don't have any minions, and they are up against the Jinx. That's some really nice poke coming out of the Ruler, but you have an Italy as well, so immediately Teddy just autos a couple of times with his Bloodthirster and receives one heal, and he is back at full health. Either you engage, or Teddy lives and kills your whole team.
And that's what we're talking about. For GENG, the crippling field, making the play and failing it is gonna feel worse. But I think the result will be the same if you don't do anything and just sit here. You can see with how much impunity T1 can just move up, especially now with, because you mentioned the heal, we see the Bloodthirster, there's also an Ocean Soul, right? So like there's so much sustain available from T1 that unless you go for that play, not going to quite work out as Rascal off in the side again. And the one upside, I think, is that no one should be able, maybe Faker can, but I think that one play, well, Rascal should still be able to win that 1v1. But you immediately see the moment that he even gets anything remotely resembling a shove, the entirety of T1 just rotates towards him.
Yeah.
Like, where are you?
All they have to do is move out of vision, and he has to respect it. I mean, he already got caught out down on the bottom side. And it's, again, it's not an easy game. GENG here with the Baron. They find Carria, and you know what? They're actually going to commit to it. Nice stopwatch, denying the hook. But at the end of the day, it is a stopwatch that does go down. Mega Death Rocket isn't really going to do too much at this point in time. The autos are going to be much bigger here from Teddy.
Yeah, ult for ult, and nothing happens. as per the current game plan for either team. Yeah, not that much to be done, unfortunately, as Carria baiting out that Glaze Official was nice, provides you with an opportunity to go for a more linear engage if you do want to go for that. Even then into Braum doesn't feel great, and GENG clearly not wanting to risk that. And 6 items across the board are slowly coming through. Teddy's decided, by the way, because he's been, I don't know how much gold he has in his pockets, but I can assure you, it is a lot. He's been sitting on 6 items for what feels like 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
This is most definitely the type of situation where some people would sell their boots. Teddy clearly deciding against that, valuing the movement speed a lot higher than any possible stats. And let's be honest, if you're Jinx at this point in the game, do you really need to attack more? Do more damage?
The boots can potentially give you more damage because you are in range more often,
exactly.
Right? So in a way, it is damage. Obviously, it allows you potential to run away as well, to gain space. Although that might not matter if you were going up against a super hard engaged team. But you'd like to be in a better position, I think, against Syndra and Aphelios. That's my read, at least. I feel like with the Braum and the exhaust, he feels safe enough with his own cleanse that
he should.
If someone engaged upon him, he should be able to live. So the boots will actually give more value at the end of the day. As we're closing in on 50 minutes, we're almost there in this game. We're certainly going the distance here in game 3.
Valdez, at least it's not a one-sided series, okay?
That's true.
You could argue that there's no sides in this game, but it's not one-sided. Clid is a man on a mission. I don't know what the mission is quite yet.
There is a blue ward down there just south of him. And, I mean, Rascal isn't even on vision. And
he should be able to see the ward, though.
Yeah, I think from the corner of the brush.
I think he should be able.
He should be able to. And he's not there. He's up on the top side. So, don't know if he even saw it or what happened, because Jonah Strong, of course, is playing with our heads.
Pranking us. Oh my god, he's not spotted.
Yeah, he gets so. Oh, he's
still there.
Still there. And with Baron about to come up.
Okay, but what would you rather have? And I think the answer is always Elder.
What about control wards, though? Like, is this position going to be more valuable than him going back and buying control wards?
I can't imagine.
Okay, like, this is assassinate the president. This is happening right now.
This has been set up for like what feels like a minute and a half now.
They don't have vision.
It's just gonna die.
The damage is gonna come in.
There he is.
And okay, here you are, the assassin. What do? You're trying to get the Gnar here. The damage isn't done. BDD goes down immediately. And the front line gets killed by the Gnar. As you see Ruler trying to kite it back, but he cannot. He's desperate here, but the Jinx is following up 100 years. Not quite there. As, oh man, only Rascal will survive, and I think that will be enough this time, finally, for T1 to push in.
And you see T1, they don't want to get cheesed, immediately send 2 people down towards the bot side. Yeah, okay, carry on, join. Doesn't matter, I can assure you, as Rascal...
Oh boy, he's going to try. Can he get the 2-hit? Nope, not quite. He is going to go into his GA. But it doesn't matter, because nobody else is alive. And down will go the Camille. And supportal combat is happening here as he will actually survive. T1 takes down game number 3 and are now on match point.